welcome to another Entourage.com video. Today we get to speak to Ryan Lowe, professional keynote speaker and sales trainer, and also founder of the Get Off Your Attitude movement. So welcome, Ryan. Good to have you with us.
Well, thanks for having me today. I definitely appreciate it.
Yeah, we're pretty excited to talk to you because we don't feature a lot of speakers, and one of the things that there's this like dogma around speakers, right? Like it's this thing where like so many people did it back in the day that it became kind of this saturated thing where like, why is this guy speaking? He's young. Like, what does he have to offer that other motivational speakers don't? So I was pretty excited when I got the chance to kind of connect with a speaker who also was in the luxury lifestyle, and I was like, let me go ahead and get more information and get our viewers kind of more grounded on what is it really like to be a speaker, but also, more about your background and where you got started, not just speaking, but how you got started in your career in general that led you to speaking. So that way we can kind of take off this dogma and teach people who do want to proceed in this type of field a little bit more about what it takes to be successful in it.
Yeah, and I agree with you. There is a black cloud, and what I like to tell people that I'm not your grandfather's motivational speaker. One of the things that I'm trying to do in my movement with the Get Off Your Attitude movement, as you talked about earlier, was that I'm trying to let people know that there needs to be, especially being an entrepreneur, we need motivation. We need people, challenging us, people showing us, like your group, what success can be if you work hard and how to get there. And that's what I'm about. I'm not just going to, I'm not one of those people that just rah-rah you, but I'm going to give you some great content, some great ideas that I've learned from other entrepreneurs, other successful speakers, and other successful business owners that allow me to, share those experiences to make other people successful. And the way I got into it was, when I left here, I'm from New Orleans, Louisiana. I moved to Dallas, Texas, and I was in sales. And a gentleman who worked for Brian Tracy Seminars came to Dallas, saw what he did, and really got intrigued on what he was doing in sales training. So that's where I cut my teeth. I traveled all over the country becoming a speaker. That's how I got in the business, traveling the country being a speaker and a sales trainer, promoting another person, and really enjoyed it. Really loved to travel, and talk about meet successful people. I've met the most successful people in this country by being in this business and being able to interview them, talk to them. And the number one answer that I always got on their success was positive attitude. And I'll get into that. I'll share that with you on how I came up with Get Off Your Attitude. I've reached pinnacles in my career as an entrepreneur, and I've reached low points in my career as well. I mean, all of us, sometimes you go through those high points and those valleys. After I got out of the speaking business for a little while because I was traveling way too much, and I had an offer. I was the vice president of City Mortgage Group based out of Dallas, Texas. I had an office in Beverly Hills, and I had an office in Dallas for 3 years, traveled back and forth. And then what I decided to do is kind of become an entrepreneur again. I was the vice president and part owner of a national insurance company. We had offices in 48 states, people all over the country working for us. We had a great model. And unfortunately, though, my business partner and I, we had to close shop due to some things that we decided to do that really we bit off more than what we could chew, unfortunately, and came back to bite us about a year later. But what happened was by losing my business and losing just about everything, I lost everything. I had to pay all my debts off, had to do everything with my business, and it was a risk that I took. I'd probably do it again if you'd asked me, because I think that's what being a business owner is really getting out of your comfort zone. But one of the things that happened to me is I had moved back to Louisiana to be closer to family, and I lost that business. I moved from Dallas back to Louisiana, and I had to go rent a room from a friend of mine. I was actually sleeping on his couch. I had to go take a sales job to pay the bills and get back on my feet again. And that's how I came up with Get Off Your Attitude. Actually, it was about a 4 in the morning aha moment, and all of a sudden this message came to me, and it just made me realize I was living in a pity party, being negative, not staying motivated myself. And when I got these 4 words, I went online, bought GetOffYourAttitude.com. It was my new message. decided to write the book Get Off Your Attitude, which has done quite well, and started this whole Get Off Your Attitude movement by speaking, merchandise. I did the Get Off Your Attitude bracelet. I've had football, basketball. I've had Reggie Bush. I've had all kind of big names wear my bracelet, and people that I've met that promoted Get Off Your Attitude, and a lot of big athletes, stars, all that. They love the bracelet because when I interviewed them and talked to them, they all said, "Hey Ryan, it's sometimes it's hard to stay positive." So that's been my message with entrepreneurs and other people as well.
So you said a lot of good things, and I want to kind of touch on a few of them. So you were in sales before you started kind of working for Brian Tracy, is that correct?
Correct. Mm-hmm.
So that was kind of like you were in a corporate job. What type of sales were you into? Were you in financial sales?
Actually, I was in telecommunication sales.
Okay. So you were in telecommunication sales, which was a corporate job. You worked for someone else. Then you had an opportunity to go work for an entrepreneur who was a speaker and kind of taught you the ropes in that aspect of the field. So then why did you go back to working, in a sense, for Citigroup or Citi?
Well, in that position that I had with the Brian Tracy speaking group, we traveled all over the country 3 or 4 months at a time. We lived in different cities. And at that time, I was just in my career where I kind of wanted to get a little bit more concrete, make more money, and actually just kind of get a feel of having a stable life for a little while. And then doing that for about 2.5 years, decided that's not for me. I'm one of those people. I have that mind of working for myself, doing my thing, and it's hard for me to work for other people. I'll be honest with you.
But the experience, and I like to talk about this with people who have had high-paying jobs in organizations, because I myself came from a banking background, so I have a lot of in the retail space more so than the mortgage space. But when you have a high-paying job, like it's a lot of security. It's easy, right? Like it's easy. A lot of people don't understand that it's not easy to do the job, but it's easy because your mental stress is almost off of the whole. Are you going to get paid? What's going to happen, etc. So you almost have somewhat of a structure to your day, right? And then you had all these jobs and they were high paying, and then now you decided you want to do your own thing. What was it that was it just working for yourself that triggered that, or did you have some backing or something that allowed you to make that an easier decision?
No backing. It's a passion that I have. It's something that's inside me that, I'll tell you, when it was about 2.5 years when I worked for that company and I was, running the insurance business, I would personally go see other speakers myself, conventions, conferences, and it would just eat at me that I wasn't the guy up on stage. It literally, whoever was sitting next to me, I'd be elbowing them saying that's what I should be doing. That's when you have a passion and excitement and enthusiasm about something, you'll do it for free. And I've spoken for free early in my career, and it's something that just is never shut off. My wife always laughs at me because it's midnight and I'm still thinking ideas, writing things out. I'm always in that mode, and it's just hard for me. Like I said, it's hard for me to work for somebody else where I'm making them rich when I could be making myself rich. If I'm going to go sell somebody else's products, I should be selling myself. And that was always my mindset. So that's the struggle that I had, is making somebody else rich, making somebody else money, when I could be doing the exact same thing in sales, selling myself, and making more money probably doing what I wanted to do.
So a lot of people think it's very easy to become a speaker, and then it's very easy to sell your product, but it's really not. It's almost like more difficult than any other conventional, simple black and white business, right? Because there's this one, you have this dogma against you that just starts. 2, you're the new guy on the block, and there's 1,000 other people who have done this and in their own way and have their own lines. So how do you succeed in this business early on, being young, not having had like a big thing like Facebook being built or using some, branded item in a sense like that behind you? So how did you do that? Like, walk us through what your experience was like starting as a speaker before you kind of got traction.
Well, I got lucky by being picked up by the Brian Tracy group out of Dallas. I was traveling. That was the thing that really got that. That's where I tell people I got bit by the speaking bug. Going there, doing workshops, speaking in front of people, traveling, meeting really cool people, successful people. And when I got bit by that bug, that's what I just never wanted to turn back from that. But I decided, like I said, I took a little bit of a break from it. And even in my book, I talk about it that